Oh, there we go. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Warriors Anonymous. This is WAHnanga. We're going to be looking around what's been happening in the media around the game this coming Saturday. Oh boy, everyone's getting excited for it. My name is Jared Cronin. We've got Moneta Sauce, Isaac Sauce on deck. Also, special guest, Stephen McIvor. Stephen, how you doing, mate? he is back. And Stephen, mate, you were knee deep in things in the media side of things in 2002. What are you seeing in comparison to what's happening this year with the Wahs?
I'm seeing a team that's similar to that 2002 team that had a way to play. 2002 a little looser. This team is so intuitive in what it's doing, and you don't get to this point without having a game plan all the time, every time. And man, I love what I see. I think what blows me away more than anything is the speed of the game, the fitness of the team, and the way they're executing. And I think the way they're executing is huge. And as we're saying, they're on the cusp of jumping a week, beat the Panthers, jump a week out of that prelim final, and then go all the way into the big one.
Oh, look out. Wouldn't that be so nice?
Yeah, I know, right? Goosebumps. Bring it on.
Oh dear, boys. We need to compose ourselves. Over here in Australia, where I'm based, the media is starting to sort of twig on the fact that the Warriors actually are right. It's like, they're actually in the finals, and okay, they could be, could be a chance here. So, Moneta, I know you've been checking out a bunch of stuff from Fox League and whatnot, bro. What have you picked up in the past few days?
I still think they perceive us as the underdogs, and I think, as we discussed before, they're saying that we have to change somewhat the way we play. I think they used the game, I think the Cowboys, when they versed the Panthers on the weekend, and they were referring to how the Cowboys played too structured, and Penrith read them quite easily. But I think the Warriors are a bit more clinical than the Cowboys, and I think we have been a bit different in regards to that. We actually have been starting to utilize like the offloads and support play and a bit more. So I think it's slightly different for us because I think we've been executing the system way better than the Cowboys have been doing. But no doubt it's going to be a tough game. But they're also calling it, the master versus the apprentice, right? Webster versus, Ivan Cleary. Webster's got the inside knowledge, in terms of how, each individual within, the Panthers play. So it'll be interesting to see how he implements the game plan against his old foe. So, yeah.
The silly thing about that whole them making the comment about the Cowboys is all season the Cowboys' strength has been to play off-the-cuff rugby. So then they say, they played a completely different game plan and playing that structured and they got skinned, but that wasn't their strength all year. So that's where they lost out, not playing structured football, because they never played structured football well. They didn't play to their strength. And if the Warriors' strength is playing structured football, so be it.
But they now play structured football with that old phrase, warrior ball. They play warrior ball with structure now, and you can see that, and that's why they're in this position.
And that's what makes them pretty scary. The unexpected, but a lot of the expected as well. But it's hard to stop at times. What's been from over here in Sydney, I can see that there's been a lot of media coverage, wall to wall, all sorts of things going on around Aotearoa. Stephen, what's caught your eye, bro, about what's happening
the
with
Up the Wahs thing. I mean, I texted you and said, man, the song you guys produced, amazing. I mean, we've seen, the networks are getting people to say Up the Wahs. I mean, that wherever that came from, who cares? It's fantastic, and I think there is a huge wave of optimism now going forward because, people, I don't care whatever you say, all professional athletes love watching other professional athletes play, right? But so many people I know just want the Warriors to win a premiership. And I think it has masked the start of the Rugby World Cup, which is this weekend. Funnily enough, France at about 4 time zone, and the Warriors play the Panthers at a great time zone. So until the Warriors fall over, I think the Rugby World Cup is a distant second. You won't convince mainstream media outlets that. Don't care about that. It feels again like 2002, 2011. I got goosebumps again. That's what it feels like, man.
Nice, bro. Yeah.
You remind me just about the World Cup. I totally forgotten about it. Like,
Yeah.
I actually totally forgot about
We
it.
could be facetious, but it is like that, man. If you read everything, you're going, okay. They made the front page the other day, or one of these new covers they put over the top of the main print edition and things like that. So, but I still think we have to be smart about how we look at this, right? And I still think the Panthers across the board are dangerous. You know, the one player they never talk about, but I think who is key to the Panthers going forward. If I'd be shutting anyone down, I'd be shutting Isaiah down.
Yep.
None of you are convinced. You're looking at really.
No. He is the link. He is the link between the backs and the forwards. It's not Cleary. It's Yo. And we commented on early the start of the season how Tohu Harris was going to play that sort of Isaiah Yo role, and it's a pretty similar sort of style.
Yo gets his hands on the ball so much, though, right?
He touches the ball so much for a lot.
Like he's literally an extra back.
Yeah.
I guess all the focus has been on Nathan Cleary, but to your point, he's quite critical to their team. So yeah,
I think Cleary's nervous about Johnson. He was his idol, right? Yes, he's won 2 premierships. That's great, fine. But I think he'll be a little bit nervous about the imperious form that Johnson's in at the moment, and going, righty ho. They will have to be on their game. They need to start super well, though. But we're not telling anything we don't already know, right? Start super strong, super fast, and just rattle them early. So I reckon you rattle them, but you got to have your big boys doing the job. And I think Adnan Fanua-Blake needs Mitch Barnett in there getting in the face of Fisher Harris, because he's their alpha male. He's their Jared White-Hargraves. Slow him down. That takes a big chunk out of their go.
Yeah, for sure. You mentioned the name Sean Johnson in there. Isaac, he managed to pick up a little bit of hardware at the awards on Monday night.
I think he won everything and anything, didn't he?
Everything.
He won everything at the Warriors. Deserving, right? I mean, and now it's starting to come out in the Australian media as well, with all these like Clarkie's rugby column and stuff like that, how they're saying that he's basically going to take out the Dally M. But for so long, it had been debated about how it wasn't really going to be SJ in the Australian media. But now they seem to have turned it around, saying, oh yeah, SJ's top dog. He's a shoo-in to take it. So I find that surprising. But yeah, all credit where credit's due for SJ. He's, we didn't pick at the start of this year that he'd turn around this much. Now he's a potential Dally M winner. It's just awesome to see. And it was awesome to read about how at the end of last season he was, this close to just sort of giving it up, until he had a conversation with Stacey Jones and Cameron George, and had a really good first up meeting with Andrew Webster about his role in the team and where they were moving, what direction they were moving in. And that just flicked the switch. And here we are with SJ, playing in the finals.
Even
oldest man on the team.
Yeah, that's right. Cool. Even Andrew Webster, I saw he was in an interview. He mentioned when he came to the club that he was impressed with the real vision that the higher ups held for the club, and that won him over. He was like, "Man, these guys are serious." And Moneta, I saw that. Speaking of serious, because obviously we've got the private jet taking the team over across for the game, and that, which is great. But I also noticed that the official NRL finals launch was on Monday. And all the clubs were there with their captains, and we'd sent over Luke Metcalf. that to me said, I was like, man, these guys are...
They're taking it serious.
That's right. They're not bloody mucking around sending guys across the Tasman.
Oh, yeah, not for that. I mean, they want to be together to prepare for, this big game, so get on. And Luke Metcalf still has a role to play, I guess.
I wish he was on the field, Manera, because that's my only concern, man. Tamari Martin didn't play uber great footy at the weekend, and when you see Metcalf before he bummed out, just the way he attacks the line, he's got speed, he heads up play, and I love that, and that's what we haven't seen for years, like almost two halves attacking the line and putting them in doubt. So if there was any concern,
yeah, I'm a big Luke Metcalf fan, but I think Tamari he'll play the role. But to your point, I don't think he has the same attacking prowess or potential that Luke Metcalf has. But his defense, I think the defense may help us in regards to and his experience in the top 8. I mean, in the finals, I think might get us.
Playing New South Wales Cup shows them up. Hey, just shows you the gap, particularly when
he had a lot of cobwebs to get rid of, and I hope that's the warm-up game he needed, and hopefully he can play better. But I'm a big Metcalf fan, and I was gutted when he twinged that hamstring. I was like, damn, because he was hitting his strides, So yeah.
You know what we should all be thankful for is that this team and each player is playing for their coach and each other.
Yeah.
I've talked to many players. So, what do you go to the club? We go to the club to play for the coach. And it's really obvious as this team is playing for each other and they're playing for their coach. And if people don't figure that one out, they're going to be surprised when the Warriors go deep and make the grand final.
Yeah, I like that we're being underrated again. It was like we started the season, no one was looking at us at all, and we just quietly just worked in the shadows, did our thing, and now we've gone to the finals, and it's sort of like a bit of a reset. So all of a sudden, we're not expected to do anything again. Thinking they're going to be out in straight sets.
They are crapping themselves about seeing that trophy come back over the side of the pitch. and look, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed from the day this team came into the competition. I'm not going to play this is our year, but geez, I tell you what, I reckon they go close, real close.
This could be our year. Isaac,
I sound like a convert, don't I? I'm a Dogs fan. Not much to cheer about there. Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
He was the better assistant coach from the Panthers at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, we got the good one.
Yeah. So highly heralded.
Yeah.
Good one,
Take that media hype.
Nice one, Phil.
Isaac, I've been seeing lately as well that a lot of the Australian media are starting to twick on to the fact that Warriors fans, there's something special about them. What makes us a special breed?
What makes us a special breed?
I hear banjos playing.
The day oneers. I think it's the day oneers. The day oneers that have been through what we've been through on the podcast for the past 2 or 3 years as well, especially all the turmoil, the heartache, the 70 to bloody Sharks game when we're playing with 12. They still stuck by the Warriors, and we see that on the Facebook page all the time. They still stand by the Warriors. But it's on the shoulders of those guys that everyone else, all the bandwagoners, as some people like to call them, can believe. Because when they see, the day oneers cheering on as much as they have, they can't help but follow. And it's unprecedented. I haven't seen this sort of momentum in, social media, in the general media as well for the Warriors. It's awesome to see it. Everyone's getting on board, and the more the merrier.
Yeah,
I reckon.
It's a crazy wave.
I reckon bandwagons are great. I know there's a lot of fans out there who go, I'm day oneer. Get off the bandwagon. But I think, it's only got a bit of a game for New Zealand, right? The more people that support the game, I think it's a good thing.
It's one of those, they're like an event. I mean, home games are an event, and people in this country love an event.
Yeah,
the Warriors go deep, and that'll be great. And then they don't make it, or they lose the grand final. They're bloody Warriors. You go, and that's when you tire of this. The most important thing is real fans stick with their team. The Warriors fans, like a lot of other fans in the NRL, are like football fans in the UK. They are diehard fans of that team. They buy 1 million frickin' jerseys, and they go to every game, or they watch every game, and they go around the water cooler on a Monday and talk about it. And if it makes other people happy, the bandwagoners, to jump on it, as I'm with you, Mons, embrace it, because it makes you feel good. And we've had, the world and this country's had a shitty 3 years out of what's been going on. Man, this is a tonic to make you feel good. And if that's all it does and makes you feel good, job done, lads.
That's right.
My 2-year-old's a bandwagon. She's been saying up the wires in the bath.
Good.
And another thing as well, though,
I'm giving you that.
I'm meeting Warriors fans where I never thought I would have met Warriors fans. Like I was at a BNI networking thing this morning for work. It was a completely new set of people. Never met them before. They asked me to stand up, tell them about myself and my job. I mentioned the Warriors Anonymous podcast. And immediately 2 or 3 people were just like, up the waz. And I was like, yep, that was us. And you'd never expect it in a corporate setting and stuff like that. But it's honestly makes you feel good to see that there's common ground. Like there's a Warriors fan, you know.
Yeah.
Got something to talk about here.
You know what we haven't done though. You know what you guys have not done. Cronin sits there and asks all the question, but we never hear what he thinks. I'm going to switch roles just for a moment because I can, because I'm arrogant. So I'm arrogant. So Cronin, how deep do they go? Honestly, do they beat the Panthers this week and get a weekend off?
I'm going to say no.
Why?
I think that I think Penrith will be too hard to beat this week. And I think that I almost feel like our team tends to do better if we do things the hard way. And if that means going on the road and having to take down teams in their place, I feel like that's more suited to our style. So 100%, obviously willing them to get the win over the Panthers. But it just seems more in our DNA to just try and, take the tough option.
You're regretting it.
Wash him. Just go back to that year that Francis Melly scored 5 tries at Belmore against the Dogs. That's all I'll remind you about.
That's right.
That's all
you would have been crying about that one.
Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you, and I don't normally jump off the fence. I think they beat the Panthers.
Ooh.
I think they beat the Panthers.
You're a tough judge too, so I like that.
I like that. Yeah.
Louis takes something out. He wasn't playing last week. But what it was only was it 18-6 in round 10 that they lost in Sunday.
Only just lost, really.
And they're a lot better than they were back in
the referee was shoddy.
Yeah. Now forget that. Let's not play the referee card because you make your own you make your own luck, so to speak. It's not about luck. I just think this team's there's something born in. I just don't know what it is, but I got that gut feel.
This is madness. I can't believe we're in a world where I'm a harsher judge than Stephen McIvor. This is amazing. Boys, we got to jump on out of here. This has been fun. Te WAHnanga, the first one ever with special guest Stephen McIvor. Thanks for joining us, bro. Enjoy the
up the Spanish, baby. I'm going to miss it. I'm on a plane to Spain for the first America's Cup preliminary regatta. So I hope I touch down somewhere in Dubai and get the result and go up the Waz.
Nice, bro. I can see you popping into a bar in Spain being like,
I'm going to work. I'm actually going to work.
Yeah. We heard about your work stories.
Hey, thanks for letting me come back on because I enjoy your guys' company. It's good fun. And as I said, the fact that you guys were mentioned at the Herald, your songs rocking along, and it just gives credit to the fact that you guys, people listen to you guys. You're not dickheads. You look at things rationally, and you're allowed to do what the hell you want.
Thank you, bro.
I have to say, G is the mastermind behind all this. So I have to throw credit to Jared. He's like the one who's
all of it.
He's the Andrew Webster behind this podcast.
He's obviously got the secret sauce because people are listening, baby.
I've still got to go wash my mouth out with soap as well. So thanks, fellas. Thanks very much for joining us tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night with the expense account just to check out some awesome stats and insights heading into the game. But on behalf of Monita Sauce, Isaac Sauce, and Stephen McIvor, special guest, my name is Jared Cronin. We'll see you tomorrow. Up the Waz.
Up the Waz, baby.